Hey guys, we're handheld and I apologise for that because I forgot I didn't bring them. David, g'day. Chirpy, g'day. Stephen Lang, g'day and good morning. Maddie, hello. Mark Osborne, g'day. Peter Noddle, g'day. Matt Peterson, g'day. So what's happened? Kept fairly quiet on social media. Anyone on Discord probably knows what's happened. Jeez. I'm in Tasmania. Jim Minnick, g'day. In Tasmania. My old man, look, Wednesday night, about after live stream somehow. Sorry, I'll try and hold this a bit dead. Hey, Fridge. My dad called out my sister who rang the ambulance and he lost most of his mobility. He hasn't been feeling real well for 5 or 6 weeks and he had a doctor's appointment, so he thought, well, when the doctor's appointment comes, I'll talk to him. And which he did, so they scheduled him for scans and they hadn't got to them yet. So, anyway, Wednesday night he couldn't get around too much, so he wasn't really feeling real good and he was off his tucker, etc., and wasn't feeling bright at all, so he called the paramedics to help get him back into bed. And they bundled him off to hospital and did scans before morning and discovered that he wasn't real good. So I got a phone call Thursday morning from my sister saying, hey, look, my dad's gone to hospital. He's lost mobility and he's not looking real good. The scans don't look good. Are you coming down? So I talked to work and I came down. So I'm in Tasmania. There we go. Greetings from freezing, absolutely cold Tasmania. If everyone caught that. Hey, Paul. So I'm still here a week later. And I come down Friday morning, Friday afternoon I got away. Didn't find out till Thursday when I was at work, and then I had Friday off and Saturday off. I've been down here and Dad passed away Sunday morning. It was that quick, so 3 days. And I'm trying to organise some stuff. Here's Craig, here's the man. So that's that. So I'm trying to organise and put some stuff away. Dad passed away on Sunday. And I'm left holding a baby a bit. Seriously. The place is looking a whole lot cleaner and emptier than it was, to be honest. But it's still not good. Anyway, that's why I'm here. And I'm here until Sunday probably at this point. And then I'll be back in 3 weeks or so because there's things that we need to do. Right. Hands up who's in Tasmania. No, look, hands up who's in Tasmania with cash. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Because there's opportunity. Because I've got stuff to sell. Right? I've had Craig and Bill here today, and Bill's not home yet, so he's not on chat. Craig's been home a little while. And we've shifted a lot of stuff. So thanks, guys. And Stuart's here tomorrow, and probably we won't shift as much stuff because, honestly, I'm not that keen to get dirty again, but we'll have a talk and a look around. this pile was, this corner was piled up pretty high, but actually it's looking like it's sort of almost empty. I could, by the end of the week, conceivably have this floor swept. Dad hasn't worked in here for a while, and anything that needed doing or needed jobs ended up on this bench. The bench isn't for sale, unfortunately. It was left to a friend of ours, and I'm glad it was, really, a bit. But that's 1.25" plate, as he calls it, so it's 32mm plate with decent big casters on it. 2200 by 700 apparently, we measured it today, so fairly heavy. Craig took a trailer load of stuff, so he's still unpacking it, I think. I guess there'll be a video about that, but he's got some cool projects there. Got a welder for sale. Anyone interested in a welder? It's lovely and warm. It's freezing down here. There's a little WA Weldmatic 120G, a gasless MIG. That's for sale. Not particularly expensive, pretty good welder. It's all there, it's all going. I plugged it in and I run a fillet with it the other day. It's not a bad welder. There's got to be some more consumables for that somewhere, and I haven't a clue where, but we'll find them. So you're looking for a decent little gasless MIG, it's one for sale. It's pretty heavy and it's in Tasmania. Tragically, heavy welders in Tasmania are a bit of a theme, because this one, right, it's the wrong way around for live stream. Sorry, we put it this way around. It's a 200 amp TIG, AC/DC TIG, inverter style. I'm going to move down here so you can see it. Evening, JB. This is probably going to Queensland with me. That's where we're at with that. I don't know how, but it's time I had a TIG in the workshop, and that's a much better machine than I would be able to afford. So that's going to Queensland. We've made a bit of a mess of some of the timber racks. It's pulled them apart, and we're going to use stuff. Honestly, they're a lot lighter than they were, but there's still a lot of stuff up there. We will end up pulling stuff out again, fixing that. This is my woodworking box. There's a lead D4R. Sorry. Is that better? The 120 amp welder work with gas too, Craig says. No, I don't think it does. There's a lead dovetail jig there. Sorry. Got absolutely no idea what's in this box. I haven't even looked. I don't think. Oh, there's a set of Forstmann bits. Okay. It's a dovetail jig, routers, etc., etc., etc. I don't know what to do about that. Don't know whether to sell it or post it yet. Still thinking about it. There's routers in the bottom. There's hand tools in the top. This has got a proper clamp down system on top for the dovetail jig. So you pull it out and set it all up. If I sell it, I'll probably sell it with a cabinet. I don't know. There's a crap load of scrap steel, right? If anyone wants to bring a Am I still, can you hear me? If anyone wants to bring a trailer and scrap steel, seriously, $1 a kilogram, something like that, it's yours. Anything. There's a lot more outside. Fair bit of scrap steel in here. This is my old man shed, JB. My old man passed away this week, so I'm sort of cleaning up a bit. Just as a recap. This joint is for sale. I've listed it for $600, not had a nibble yet. It's a Paul call, made in Sydney. Anyone who's keen in Tasmania, nice little jointer. It's mine. It was my 30th birthday, I think. It might have been my 21st. I think it was my 30th birthday present. It's a pretty nice little jointer from my old man. Craig's onto that. The full specifications there. It's not a bad little machine. It's on a stand. It's got a motor, dust extraction. Decent fence. It tips over both ways. It's got a fence on the side that tips over. We had it going today, fired up. It could do with a guard, but that's a sheet metal work job for any of you guys. Not much rust on it or anything. It's pretty tidy. It's for sale. Anyway, there's a little ad break. $600. I have a toolbox here, right? This is my tool chest. It's all over the place now at the moment because I've been pulling stuff out of it. Right? It's White International, which is basically beach with an export label on it. There's this one goes on top of it, which I've pulled out and cleaned up. Also White International and beach with the export label. Nice cabinet. You want to be local because it weighs 25 kilos empty and about quarter full like it is. It's nearly impossible. It's a 2-person lift, so that's not good. Don't know what to do about that. I will probably list it for sale. Really not sure if I can get it cleaned up before the weekend. So there we go. Anyway, what's everyone else up to? We'll get back to this crap in a minute. This old man's little sensitive drill project. If you want a good job, potentially I think that will be a pretty good little machine. No quill in it yet, but it has got spindle and everything. Matt, that's awesome. I'll be there with you in a minute, or before long when I get my TIG set up. But it's, I get Dad's TIG set up. It's going to take me a while to come back up to speed. So 2-step coins, that gives us about 10 to 1. There's a motor here for it. There's a decent base. I honestly would like to finish it, but it's seriously heavy. It's a tool and cutter grinder over there. Yep, I think that's spoken for. There's a name on it. I don't think you can read that. Yep. The astute might be able to read that. Anyway, I think that's spoken for. There's a drop saw that probably wants condemning. We'll probably chop that up and put it in a bin. Hey, Kevin. There's a crap load of handles. who's local and wants a vacuum pump, there's a vacuum pump there. There's another clamp there too. There you go. Sorry, I blocked the sound again. Sorry. There is a clamp there. I don't know if it's the missing one or not, but it's actually there. So we'll talk about that. I don't know if New South Wales restrictions are going to be lifted too much. Tom's here. This is a hydraulic pump. It goes with another bit of gear. This rack here is mostly solid bar. There's a bit of RHS and stuff in it, but it's mostly special stuff. Sorry, Fridge, but we'll see how we go. If you can get across, that'd be awesome. I'm not holding my breath. So there's steel stock here everywhere. Now, Matt, it sounds like good fun. I'll race you. You've got a month's head start probably. We have this, which is number 79 vertical CBA die sinking mill. Right. It is nice. Absolutely it's nice. It's pretty sweet actually. It's also pretty heavy. And it's pretty top heavy. I was going to crank the head over at some point, and I probably still will. I've got a quote to ship this, right? So, yeah, Maddie. Bear with me. I've got a quote to ship this to Queensland. That's where we're at. Okay? Everything's a shelf down here. Gosh, you're getting old when you start selling your stock with Mr. Ritson written on it anyway. I have a quote that's not unreasonable for this machine. I mean, it's a fair bit, but it's still a cheap mill. It's a cheap, decent mill. We will see, right? We'll see. This mill needs a DRO in it and needs a few other things as well, but at a reasonable price. Okay, that's got a worm wheel on the back for cranking it round to set the head over. It's got proper quill feed that locks in and out, and also this is a lock. See what we've got here. This cranks up and down. This one here knocks out, and then you've got to leave a feed for drilling. I guess there was a work light on that support. It's Morse taper 3. The bed's hardly big enough for most things. There is some sort of bed extension the old man made there. I haven't actually used it, but for gear cutting I think it's probably heaps strong enough. There's a suds pump that he was in the middle of hooking up there before he got crook. It's the answer with that nylon. There's all the trepanned out bits from those wheels, Craig. Anyway, it's one of the beautiful things about it is that it don't make any noise. So that's that, right? I'd very much like to get that home, and if I do, I've got to work out what tooling and stuff I want for it too. Got no idea. But that's a bit of a job. Anyway, it's here, and it's probably not crazy. Everyone's sort of behind me to get it home, so it could do with some use. It's starting to look like it hasn't been used for a bit. It could do with a clean up and oil before I go home, and I might just get that. So there we go. Now, if you're in Tasmania and you're looking for a machine, Tom, if you want to upgrade your lathe to your mill capabilities. Sorry. If you want to upgrade your lathe to your mill capabilities, Tom, not looking at anyone else. Anyone who's here, right? This machine is it on a stick, right? This is touring quality TOS MN18, I think it is, an MN18. You can Google that if you like. Right. Trouble is, it's 3-phase. That's the issue with it, and it weighs about 5 tonne. It might weigh 6. I wouldn't be surprised if it did weigh 6. It's pretty heavy. It's got a serious gearbox in one end. It'll cut metric and imperial, module worm wheels, diametral pitch wheel worm wheels, and a whole lot of other stuff, right? It's got about 5 or 6 thread cutting charts on it. It's got a 3-jaw chuck, that Taylor, which is pretty good. There's a big 4-jaw there. There's a smaller 3-jaw here somewhere, down there, I think. And there's a hydraulic copy attachment for it, which goes on the back. So we got no light here, sorry. Trying to get a clearer picture there, but I can't. Made in Czechoslovakia. $1952. There we go. Pretty sweet. It's got someone pointed this out and I didn't know this, but this is actually geared compound, which is probably why it's always been hard to turn. It's got cam throw out for thread cutting. So this kicks back here at the edge of your thread and repeats back in, so you don't have to wind your compound out. Speed range is 14 RPM to 2800. It'll be nice and tightened up and ready. Yeah, it'll be fairly. The old man didn't buy crap machines. Marcus Christensen asked me if there was any scraping gear down here, but here's Bill. Thanks, Bill. But I says to him, well, the old man didn't buy a stuff machine, so that's where we're at with that. There's no scraping gear. This is Morse taper 4. This, I think, is Morse taper 6. Right? The thing will basically push a 2-inch twist drill through, no worries at all, without any hassles, and doesn't even notice it. It's got a 6-inch flat belt down to the gearbox. It's got a pretty complicated series gearbox. This is your speed selection. Sorry. This is your gear selection here. This one here selects your feed screw type. So that's your inch module, inch diameter pitch, and Imperial Lasers module for worm wheels. Metric. It's a while since that was turned over. Won't leave it on module. And power feed. We've got 1 to 1 and 1 to 8 speeds here. We've got, at this point, which you can probably take as well, we've got a chip tray here. Right, a few cobwebs. It's got a counterbalance. And it's got a tray in the back that runs to the suds tank with a hose. And we can slide that around out of the way in case we return a bit of brass or something. Or we're really hacking into it and some pretty serious chips coming off there. So little bit of dust, yeah, a lot of grinder dust. Thanks, Bill. So there's that. It's got a gantry hooked up here, which is a bit RHS on angle, with a bit of angle on it, and 4 bits of rod and 4 bearings and a bit of plate cut out. So that's got the big chuck on it. We've got airline here too. And this one here, which we were sort of just working on, which is a rail across here. From that end to that end. Was going to have a tool caddy that slides backwards and forwards on it. So there's another one there. A revolving, like a Lazy Susan tool caddy. That was a plan there too. So this machine's for sale, I would imagine, right? If you wanted time to move it rather than have an auction and have 3 days to move it with someone breathing down your neck saying time to go, now would be the time to buy it. So there you go. Anyone who's in Tassie who wants a good machine, or even on the mainland if you want to ship it, but it's pretty heavy. I think it weighs 5 or 6 tons. But bearings and everything good, oil system's good, pump's good. I think that the suds pump all works. Could do with a clean. Honestly, it wants a sweep and a vacuum and a blow off and a run over with a gurney to get some grease over when you get it outside before you put it on the truck. This has also got a clutch feed. So if you put this up here, right, you can set your clutch, which is this one, I think. Is that right? Yeah. This is your power feed clutch. So you can set your clutch back on 1 or 2 or whatever here. And your power feed will kick out when it hits the stop, which is kind of nice. This one here on the saddle is your power feed in and out. This one here is your half nuts. This one here is backwards and forwards and sideways feed. So if you want to run crossways for parting off, or you can put him down that way. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. For longitude. This one here, your lathe on and off. It's got a loose handle in it once the grub screw doing up. But this one will start and stop your lathe. This one will put your lead, start and stop your lead screw. This oil pump. And this oil glass sight window there as well. There's an oil pump filler. On-off switch is down there in the corner. So, there you go. I think it's Morse taper 4 though. Morse taper 4 and Morse taper 6. Shot of the gantry crane. I'm filthy dirty. There we go. Chirps. That's a fairly simple one. That's probably itineration number 5 or 6. And that got pretty straightforward. Like, it's all he's done is cut out a piece of. Now, if we come back out here, I don't know, I hope you can still hear me. Onto that Craig. Right, there's another one here, which is a strap over the top and a swivel hook. And it's got links for the cables as well to follow along, which seems to work really well. But this is WIA Fabricator. If someone's looking for a big welder, 3-phase welder, that's a pretty nice MIG welder. It's about as good as it gets, actually, before and after. And of course that swings around. It's got a plate on that end so that it doesn't fall off the end, and it pivots top and bottom. So that's the old man's design. He's got also a fire hose reel on there, or an air hose reel. And that's plenty solid. It's a lot more solid than putting it on its flat and expect it to bend out. But that weighs, like, one person can lift that up there if they're on a ladder. It's fairly heavy, that wire feeder. Without a roll of wire, one person can lift it up there and hook it. But it's also got a hook there for the endless chain if you've got to do that. So that is a piece of 65mm by 65 by 5mm, I guess. 2.5 by 2.5 by 3/16 wall. and it's about, what, 1 to 3 metres jib. Doesn't flex much. Power boards are the same in this workshop, always have been, right? So it's just a plate with a couple of boards on it and a chain. And we've got a swinging arm. So that one swings that way, another one swings this way. And that covers most of the workshop area. So if we need a power point over there, we can swing this one across. And we've got a power board just about height you hit head on. And the improvement would be about 6 inches taller, but the old man couldn't lift his arms above his head, so that's where they are. So that's kind of how we're at. Anyway, there's a hole down there. Old man had polio, which was the last crazy big pandemic that made everyone scared about the end of the world, etc., etc. And the last one that shut the world down anyway. So he sort of had to do these sort of things to sort himself out, but that's where we're at. This is a really nice gantry for this. Full roll of wire, it hangs level, but it's adjustable too. If you have a look, there's a piece of pipe there. Hold my arms up here. There's a piece of pipe with a grub screw in it there, and you can move that in and out to balance it. And it's just got a hook, and then there's got the angled hook there. For lifting it on and off. Now this is an important attachment as well, right? This, if you put this here, it doesn't swing out of the way when you can't reach it. So it basically is a brake. So that's a fairly important sort of a thing to have on a gantry like that too. Is pretty handy. So the fabricator is a bit of a mess, but I think it'll clean up all right, and I think it still works. I'd be pretty happy. It's all hooked up to gas and everything. I'd be pretty happy switching on and welding something tomorrow without any issues with it, I think. There's a 3-phase plasma cutter over in the corner, and we had that out today. 16mm it'll cut steel. So that's for sale too if someone wants 3-phase gear. The rest of this stuff's sort of just got to be sorted out and cleaned up. No one's done anything. My sister, every time she gets rid of something, she puts it down here. So there's a lot of her stuff down here too. I haven't quite broached that with her. So there we go. That's where we're at. This box is full of stuff that I want to take back. I don't know what to do. I'm going to pack the stuff into boxes and post it probably. But this Beach or White International box, which is Canadian made, weighs 25 kilos empty. So I'm really not sure about taking that back. I'd love to have it, but we'll see. Nice box. So there we go. Now, then there's another project. And this is a bit of an issue. because this is something my old man did a lot too, and I did a lot too. Matty, that's a pretty smart idea, actually. Thanks, Matt. That would work. Absolutely. Thanks for that. Tom needs more. I could permanent load that. I could permanent loan that tool chest to someone over there in the corner. I'd be up for that. But if I sold the two, I'd get $500 or $600 for them. So I don't know. If I did that, it might move my mill back. Yeah, you need to come in, Tom. There's a funeral on Friday, so Friday's not a crazy good day, but Saturday or tomorrow is. I don't have any funeral clothes, so I'm going to have to go shopping at some point. I'm going to get my hair and nails done, which is a bit crazy, but it's something I never really need to do, so there we go. Saturday would be really good, Tom, and Craig will be here too, I think. All right, it looks like I'm taking this project back. There's a twin. There's a governor assembly. Now, I'm not got any confidence at all that I'm ever going to get this finished. Needs a good blow off. And it's twin cylinder. So, awesome, Craig. That's all I can do to hold that radiator up with one hand, but that's sort of how we're looking. This is all brass. This is built basically to the parts book, one part after another. I reckon these are done up tight because I reckon they're all packed, ready to go, but they've got roller bearings in them. Round spoke wheels, proper grooves in the tyres. We made rollers for those. This is a D model. It's a 28D. 1928. Have a look over here on the bench. Sorry guys for the handheld thing. Right, 2 back wheels are done. There's quite a lot of spokes made from, or spikes made from. There's grass tread tyres to go around the outside here, somewhere. All these are brazed, but they've all got the proper fittings and they all look like the real thing. Look like they're swaged in. Got square holes in here, which was a good fun job. And put a lot of work into these. Got no idea where the other back wheel is. It's here somewhere. Got no idea. But I know there's 2 to that stage. Haven't seen it, to be honest. Hey, Paul. Hey, go and spend some time with your daughter. It's good to see you. Saw Paul on another Ian Matthews channel too. Anyway, this is going back to Queensland in a box. Ian Matthews, I think, is the name of the channel, Craig. So there you go. So this can sit on a shelf in the new workshop. I really don't know what to do. It's a crazy big project. It would be very nice at some stage to get the engine running, but I've still got to get the Stewart 400 going, so we'll see how we go at it. Thanks, Craig. Anyway. That's the front half of the John Deere D model tractor in 1/3 size. It needs work. Honestly, it does. The cylinder head needs work because it's not laid out. We run into problems there when we got to that. But I think all the bits are here, and it was going to take mini valves, and half that work's done. And there's a crap load of drawings and things here. Like I'm finding drawings everywhere. There's a flywheel there that's cast in brass. And there's a pattern for it too, I think. So finger grips in the back for starting. The split hub. Ignition timing marks on here. Left hand spark. Left hand exhaust. Chirpy, this is a long way off actually going. A long way. It really is. But there's bits of this here everywhere. There's pictures in photo albums and there's drawings. Seriously, there's stacks of drawings for this. If anyone's even a little bit interested. Main bearings, left and right. Camshaft. Top holes for the for the crankcase. That crankcase cover's on there, but it's only got one hole in it. Fan. Clutch plate, which I think's there with a spline in it. Crankshaft. Yeah, no idea what that is. It's a spacer for something. Something to do with the clutch, I reckon. I'd have to have a look. Sit down and spend some time on it. Some basic dimensions. There's magneto drawings. Still going, sorry. I'll gloss over most of these. It's a crankshaft drawing that's seen much better days. It's a flywheel drawing. It's finished that. Crankshaft splines. Front wheel drawings. They're finished. Rear wheel hubs. Hubcaps with a JD on them. Axles. And we're starting on gearbox gears. Clutch bits. Clutch plate, clutch pulley. Don't know what else is here. Okay. Steering assembly, steering box all done. Anyway, so there's a stack load of drawings. You can't see any of them. We'll have a bit of a look at it as we go. But a bit of work in that. To give you some idea, I'm going to go back in here, right? This book's sort of been ever present through this project, right? This is catalog, repair catalog number 40R, John Deere parts book for the John Deere Model D. Effective May the 1st, 1931. So it's pretty much, this is the machine. Right. More or less. This is the book. And then we end up with drawings like this. So fairly simple thing to draw up and to scale, because you've got all the information. Like there's no shortage of information on this. But from 1928 through, there's about 3 different flywheels. This is the early one with the keyway, and then it went to a spline, and there's big holes and little holes. There's a few differences there. There's different cranks. There's a heap of different cranks. Can't remember which one's which. Camshafts the same all the way through. Timing gear. Lot of changes. Over the years. So this book, being a current publication nearly, has all the changes up until this point, which was 1931. Now, if you kept going to 1956, which is when they stopped making them, is that right? 1956, something like that. There's probably as many or more again. Most of them are pretty small bits. A lot of them are fairly precise. Radiator tanks or petrol tanks. Bonnets. radiator tank, radiator core, radiator side pieces, bottom tank, back pipe for thermosiphon, screens, fan, etc, etc, etc. Clutch pulley. Don't think they're piston rings, they're lock rings. Thrust, clutch actuators, yokes, clutch disc, dust covers, Tupperware lid for the top, various different ones, transmission and clutch plates. This is about where we were up to when we finished, which is the side transmission cover. So some of those bits I've drawn up are actually for this. If it becomes a Patreon project, I don't know about that. It's going to be an ongoing project. I'm probably going to give it a clean up and get it set up at some point and work out what I've got and what I haven't got, but I'm probably not going to go much further than that. This is all rear ends, chain drive in the rear end, the rear axles. There's two different sprockets, usually the yellow one's the bits we need. Drive sprockets, diff, gear levers, selectors. This is the diff housing, back axles. We go in the front wheels. This is what we've gone with. This is the latter one, and this is the early one, so we went with the easiest one to make. Front steering arms, cheese cutter tyres for the front there. Front end's all on. Most of these bits are actually made. It's the front axle. Earlier front axle, steering boxes. That guard goes over the top. Has it got one of those on? It hasn't got one of those on it yet. These are all steering column parts and brackets. Steering worm. Steering quadrant, which we've got. Drawbar bits, back wheels, the early ones, really early ones, like crazy early ones. Back guards, panel work, more back guards, more panel work, air cleaners, tyre accessories, PTO shaft output, drawbars, more wheel accessories and tyre accessories, more wheel and tyre accessories, probably the back wheels that we've got. They're not actually, they've got more spokes in them, so it's another one. Electric lighting system, it's that one, which has less spokes, which is current. Probably. That's the very early one. They're the ones with the expandable rubber tyre on them. Another set there, they expand in the middle and stretch out. Hey, Matt. Bill, you're right, the first 6 videos. There's the, I think in full size, is the actual plate for the side of the transmission. Go on to magneto parts, carburetor parts, more carburetor parts and options. Casting list, numerical image, and we go through to optional accessories, spark arresters, air cleaners, canvas engine covers, exhaust elbows, pepper pot mufflers, radiator guards, radiator curtains, pulley dust guards for dusty environments, brake control extensions, corn picker hitch, binder hitch, and this is the extra equipment. So basically that's the extra equipment. And then there's a stack of drawings in the back of this too that we haven't got through. Camshaft. clutch in full, in detail. So this is the clutch there, how that all works, how it all goes together. Levers, things like that, splines. So, guys, that project has been in a... Yeah, they must have employed dozens of guys to do, and girls too probably, guys and girls to do the illustrations for the parts catalogue. That's the parts catalogue, and I've got probably 10 different ones of different eras. I've got nearly every instruction book and every parts book and every owner's manual. Here's the owner's manual, if anyone's still interested. You've all gone quiet. Probably because this is boring as batshit. No, sorry. This is the sales brochure. This is the factory for the D model. There's a reprint, so it's a pretty boring picture of the D model. Fits all farm needs. There's one in an orchard. There's one plough or disking. There's one here with a reaper on it. There's one here with looks like a corn picker on it. There's one here with a set of disc harrows. Fairly big tractor. It was the biggest tractor John Deere made till 1956. And we've got cutaways. So give you some idea. This probably makes more sense than anything. Right. We've got a crankshaft here and we've got a twin cylinder engine. We've got a cylinder head here. We've got a rocker cover and the radiators out here. Thermosiphon return through here. And it's got the governor housing there, which is already on. And you've got a gear there to drive the governor housing, which I have here somewhere. I haven't got any clue where that is. I'm going to have to look for that. Probably make one anyway. Then you've got an oil pump down here and a camshaft with the oil pump in the sump. Goes through a gear here to your diff, and then it's chain drive from your diff back to the main hubs, and this is full of oil. So it's a pretty simple thing. We've got a tractor back to here, and it's got a couple of rude sort of props welded on the back. But this part here, I hear you, Craig. I hear you, Mark. I would love to be able to draw like these. And a lot of these would be airbrush photo, touched up photos, and some of them hand touched. The illustration was technical illustration was a huge field. So this was sold as a stationary engine, right? Fairly rare beast, but this was sold as a stationary engine on a skid. I'd like to get this engine running, and then maybe we could think about that. But I think this housing is not a huge deal, and this back half is probably a much simpler deal than the engine. This is the oil indication. It's got a red oil indicator which pops out when you've got oil pressure, basically. And it's got a gear here, and it's got oil level and oil strainer. Most of that stuff's in the bottom of the sump already. Looking at the top, you've got a twin cylinder engine running this way with your clutch and everything on this side and your flywheel on this side. You've got a transfer case back here, and then there's a two-speed box. By 1928 with a 2-speed or 3-speed? No idea. Can't remember. I think it's only a 2-speed box. So yeah, there's a 2-speed gearbox, high and low. Selector here with a shaft through here to run those selectors backwards and forwards. You've got a clutch in here, which is a hand clutch. Yeah, basically it's work hard or not quite as hard coming home, Pop and Johnny. And then wheels here, radiator and seat right back here. This is the This is the crank, which we got in there. The spline and the bearings, pistons. Piston rings for these are available. For this is available off the shelf. We made sure of that, so I'm pretty confident we can get compression on this motor. This is the cooling system with the fan, which is a worm drive driven off the governor assembly in here. The magneto drives off the other end, so gearing from there to your crankshaft's got to be fairly critical. And that's the clutch on the outside with the clutch brake. Basically you pull the lever a bit further and it stops the flywheel pulling. PTA was optional, probably never going to happen. Special equipment was crazy, so we will get these on here to give you a less bumpy ride on the spikes. There's about 1,000 different types of lugs, road lugs otherwise. There's road lugs which are cast iron but pretty bumpy. There's like spade lugs and grousers, extension rims, road bands, which we probably will put on. And this one had rubber tyres, industrial. It also had a reversible wheel that you could change the wheel track. It had a couple of different spark arresters and mufflers. None of them that I've ever seen have got either of those. That's just pretty fancy. Electric lighting equipment. Drive wheel scrapers, the scrapers that come down the middle of the wheels to clean the mud off and claggy ground. Extension rims and scrapers. We have a radiator guard, which is just a mesh guard, and we've got a radiator curtain that winds up and down, so you can change your cooling temperature. Sorry. We've got citrus grove fenders, which close everything in so the fruit doesn't get damaged. We've got a canvas engine cover. We've got a corn picker hitch, which is probably a different height or something. We've got a steering wheel handle, drawbar shifter for adjustable drawbar for ploughing. We've got a pepper pot muffler and a tall muffler. So that's the John Deere D. Pretty solid little tractor. Horsepower on the D, on the full size one, wasn't crazy, to be honest. It's not a big tractor. Unusually compact in design. It's only 113 inches in length, the wheelbase. Shorter than a box on your farm wagon and 63 inches wide. Only 56 inches high. It has a turning radius of 14.5 feet. It can raise an hour 24 inches on the flexible front axle. It has a big capacity for water. 9 gallons of water, and the kerosene tank holds 21 gallons. The gas tank holds 2 3/4 gallons. Horsepower. Where am I seeing horsepower? I can't remember any of this. Sorry. Haven't got a clue. Sorry, Dad. No idea on the horsepower rating. But there you go, there's the parts book. So it's all there. There's 1,000 files and drawings and CDs and things with plans on them, etc., 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 and a hard drive. It's a pretty decent big tractor, yeah. It was, for its time, it was still the biggest tractor they made in 1956 without a lot of changes. About 60 inches, 30 horsepower, okay. So I have a John Deere Model D in 1/3 size, which is 4 inches to the foot, that probably at some point need to fix. 1530 sounds right. It'll be 15 horsepower drawbar horsepower and 30 brake horsepower, something like that. Or 1530 it'll be power takeoff and drawbar horsepower. 15 horsepower on the engine, 30 on the drawbar, something like that. I'm not sure, but it'll be a dual. Anyway, I'm in my dad's place in Tasmania. Mart. Backstory on that is the old man passed away on Sunday, so we're dealing. This is his crap, mostly. There's still a boiler project. I know he was working on a winter 6-inch boiler. I've got no idea where it is. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen drawings. I haven't seen anything. I've seen some fittings. I've got no idea where it was put away. Still got to find that. So that's where we're at. Anyway, I've waffled on about that. Something I sort of had forgotten back in the day. So it's good to have a look and a little bit of enthusiasm with the project, but it needs dusting off and it needs pulling apart and it needs packing in boxes and sending home. Anyway, what else anyone want to see? I don't know if there's much else to see. There's a lot of junk. I can't, however, finish this without a TIG welder, right? I haven't got a hope, so I'm going to need that. And I can't finish it on my machinery, it's too big. So I'm going to need a mill. Most of these boxes here, all over the place, have got John Deere parts in them. Stuart, yeah, I'm a bit overwhelmed, really. I don't know what to even do about most of this stuff. We made a bit of an inroad into it. There was a lump of plate outside on the ground that was in the way and I didn't know what to do with it, but I've got a bit of a clear path there now, so that's good, that's gone. Someone's building a welding bench. There's a lot of steel, there's a lot of stuff. Tooling I'm going to have to look through. There's a crap load. I'm not taking a shipping container full back, Chirpy, promise. There's a crap load of measuring equipment and cutting tools, like seriously. This is the old man's. Oh, this was my design. I'm a little bit impressed with this. This is my design. It's not the old man's design at all. I built these, right? I think that was this plywood Craig made these out of. But this is a rock over centre teal, right? It's got, basically it folds all the way out, but it's got a piece screwed on the back here. I don't know if you can see that, to stop it tipping all the way out. So you can change the angle of it. You just got to move that up and down if you want that just to go to there, or if you want it to clear properly. So that's got a bolt in there and a couple of nylon washers each side, probably a nylon bush I think in it, and a bolt, or I think it's got a steel rod all the way through, not sure, through the bottom there. So that closes up like that, it tilts out. If you want a good way to store heavy drills and things, that's not bad. Bill has some shipping containers. Maybe I should get one down here, Bill. But anyway, good. I'm glad you got back safe, Bill. Just looking here, right? There's an absolute crap load of measuring a gear, etc, etc, etc. And I haven't even touched the surface. I haven't even looked under this bench. I've got no idea what's here. There's 4-jaw chucks and 3-jaw chucks and face plates. There's a steady for the lathe there, I know that. There's drawbars for the mill. Tin of Castrol oil there, no idea what's in that. I haven't even looked over the back here. There's another gas bottle that I didn't know was there. And an air cylinder that I also didn't know was there. Don't laugh, Craig. Didn't show that there on live stream, but didn't know that was there either. I have to do something about that. Wherever you look, there's stuff, and I haven't even. There's oil bottles and things down there. There's another drill press vise there. That's my puller. What on earth am I going to do with that? Anyway, that's where we're at. And that's what's happening. Got a couple of mobility scooters if anyone wants one. For Matty with the dividing head, yes it is, and it's a beautiful machine, but yeah, I don't know. Matty, you're in lockdown, or I'd say bring a ute and trailer across on the boat and fill it up. There's a couple of decent mobility scooters here, if anyone's interested in one. Hey, Scott and Tara's Home Shop, like the new name, that's awesome. And in reality, this is the first shed, and this is only inside. There's a steel rack, and there's a plate rack, and there's a lot of stuff to go through. And I don't even know where to start with most of it, to be honest. Sorry, guys. Having just a minute there, I haven't got a clue. All these drawings are going to have to go in a box and go back for a start. This was in the bottom of my toolbox, and it's been there, I reckon, since we bought it, and I don't think it's ever been used. I'm not sure why we even bought it, to be honest. We ended up with it at a CS sale. I reckon it was Salisbury sale across town years ago. 2005, 2002, something like that. This was one of those things. There were some real good deals on stuff there. This was probably one of them, but I'm not sure in hindsight whether it was an actual good deal. It's just got it, hang on. There we go. Now this box smells like every single vintage machine shop ever made, right? This box is amazing. This is worth the money. Now, if you want that old-time machine shop experience every couple of days when you've had enough of your own, all you got to do is open this box and take a deep breath. It smells like cotton fluid and shellacked electric motors and yeah, it's a crazy smelly box, but it's a good smell. And I guess that's probably, I don't know, it might be oak. I've got no idea what the box is made out of. But it's got tapping head in it. Now, that's got a 40mm shank on it. So you're going to need a fairly serious sort of a mill to run that through the 2-inch, put an 1.5-inch tap through with that. I'm just saying. Just looking at that. You don't want to put your inch tap through it any more than 70 or 80 RPM, this says. Yeah, stuff that. Can I measure the diameter on that? Yes, I can. Let's find something. Here we go. I'll grab a pair of calipers. Inch and a half. Inch and a half shank on that. Awesome muscle. Well, I got the good ones out, which are actually in my box. So 1.5-inch shaft on that. I don't know. It's probably, if you're tapping a lot of inch holes, it would pay for itself pretty quick. The smell pays for itself. Tom, we will talk, but we'll talk about anything. Still talking about this chest. Probably I've done without this chest for 15 years. I've got 2 at home. They're not anywhere near as nice as this. This would be awesome space in my workshop. It's heavy. I've done without this for 15 years over here. The red one. Also be awesome in my workshop. I can't see that going to Queensland, to be honest. It's heavy. If the other one... These 2 chests, look, honestly, if someone come with $500 cash, they need a bit of Marvia and a bit of Mr. Sheen and some elbow grease and a fair bit of cleaning. But the 2 of them, this has had a bit of a clean up already. Right? Because it was a lot untidier than that, and I cleaned it up with the view of taking it back to me, but it's too heavy. If someone come and offered me $500 for the 2, and it was cash, they're yours. That one and that one. There we go, that's where I'm at with it. There's a power hacksaw there, that's an awful thing. Sorry. They're awful things. Sorry, Paul. It's a terrible power hacksaw. Scott and Tara, this is my old man's shop. He passed away on Sunday. There we go. Can't say it much quicker and easier than that. I'm cleaning up so that we can put the place on the market. Power was terrible, mostly because my experiences with that power hacksaw were cutting off railway iron posts, and it was hard, noisy, miserable work. Sorry. Now, there's a 3/4 outlet hose there on the airline. I don't know if anyone spotted that. Right? Somewhere in there is a 3/4 outlet or 3/4 inlet number 2 Morse taper portable drill. No idea where it is, but it just reminded me that it must be there somewhere in behind that shelf. Fire heater, I wouldn't put a fire in it, to be honest. I reckon that'd fall apart. I'd love a fire down here tonight, but it's not going to happen. A bit dangerous. That looks like was probably going to be the rest of that tool cabinet in the lathe room. Craig, found your furnace if you're interested. Know where that is? It's down there. You can't see it, but I found it if anyone's interested. If you're not interested, well, I'll try and pass it off to someone else, but it's a pretty good project. You'll have to get them the book. We'll talk about that. But it's in there. I've just found it. Located. All the bits as well. Anyway, quick look at tool and cutter grinder. Could do with a clean up. That's taken. Strap bender, there's not much. Tube bender dies. 3 or 4 mil, 3 mil spring wire there in a coil. Someone wants some? Thanks, Craig. Honestly, there's a million things. If you want to see a rat, he's in that drawer up there, I think, or she. Let's just do this, right? We're going to do this. No, it hasn't gone back. Probably out eating. But it surprised me pretty well when it did disappear the other day, and it's a big rat. Anyway, take care. I'm about done, and we're an hour and a half here, which is about an hour and a half longer than we could have been tonight. I've just found the mother lode of all TIG rods. Sorry. See that? It's a sheet of 6 mil brass. .316L. AL5356. So we know where they are. Anyway, that's it. That's the workshop. It's looking tidy. I'm probably going to chat on Discord for a bit. I don't know. I've got to get up and do stuff tomorrow. Pretty big day tomorrow, I think. There's my milling machine. Take care, Scott. I'm out. Thanks for that. Thanks for calling, checking in. We're all okay. We're doing fine. Try and raise a little bit of cash before we move the rest of the stuff so that I can actually move a milling machine and a welder and a bit of stuff. So, there we go. I'm out. Take care. Get some sleep, Craig, because you've had a big day. And much appreciated anyone who's given me a hand today. Bill and Craig, it's awesome. We'll see you tomorrow, Stuart. And we might see you on Saturday, Tom, if you're still around. Anyway, I'm out. Take care, and more soon. Be kind to each other.